All right. Cooler, are you on? I will kick us off. His mute button is still muted. So welcome to our Tuesday masterclass, guys. We are excited. We've got a treat today. So this is being recorded. We're going to let everyone else keep coming in and we'll get ramped up. So Dan's going to share a couple of things this morning, with us as we kick off here. Anyone who hasn't seen Dan Keller on with us, he's in the top left corner, in my view of the screen here. Dan is we've been working together for I think a couple of years or so now, right, Dan? Top 1% loan officer in the marketplace with us guys nationwide. Not only a powerhouse as a loan officer and leader in the local Washington state market with many of us. He also is the national trainer for his company and leads his branch. And so we've done a lot of collaborative things with Dan over the last couple of years. So you guys have seen him. Amazing, powerful classes that you guys have been on with us. And I think, Dan, that's one of the biggest impacts, at least in the ways, that we love working with you and partnering on a lot of things together, is not only the way that you work with clients, but the type of training, education, and resources and support. I think that's the biggest thing that you provide back to the real estate community and the mortgage community, which is massively powerful. So we've done some killer classes with you. I know everyone's always asking for a lot of demand. And then this is a great one, you guys. This is actually a spinoff of Dan, we did such a good class. I think it was December or November. We did a really good class on database mastery. And through that, we started talking about it's a class that it's a course that you teach regularly, right? This initial, I know we're going to do a part one of it today, but it's something you do on a regular basis, if I understand right, in not only teaching your fellow, again, real estate realtors, right? Loan officers, but it's also a tool that you use in educating and teaching clients. And so this class that we're going to go through today is really leveraged two ways. It's something that everyone on here needs because we're talking about how to actually master money and change our lives. And we all know the struggle with that across the board with all people, right, in our industry, and not only with our clients. And so this is the what we're going to go through today, guys, is something that's going to be super important. Nick, I know you're ready to take all your notes. That's going to help everyone here as well as applies to, and Dan, I know you'll share kind of how that integrates in how we also educate and provide that conversation back with our clients to help them in that level. So with that said, unless anyone wants to add, Dan, let's jump over to you and we'll also share with them what's going on because we're going to do a little bit different today than originally planned.
Yeah. Thank you, Michelle. You guys, I'm really excited to be here again. Yesterday, I wasn't feeling really good yesterday, and my whole house has kind of been sick over the last week. And I was like, yeah, this is a really important meeting for me. I always love coming in and talking with you guys. Chad and Michelle have made a really big impact in my business. And so I wanted to make sure I was delivering a top level experience. And I had this feeling in the back of my mind yesterday that if I got sick and I wasn't my 100 today, I felt like I was my 100 yesterday. And so I went yesterday morning and I actually recorded the class that I'm going to teach you guys today on Zoom in my office. And I'll tell you what, guys, I woke up at 1 o'clock last night. Both of my eyes were sealed shut. I got a freaking pink eye. And I was in the urgent care this morning getting antibiotics. So I look like hell. I
What are
feel
you
like crap.
doing?
What's that? What's that, Cooley?
I'm just giving you shit, Dan. Go ahead.
But I'm going to deliver this to you guys. So I wanted to give a little intro real quick, and then Michelle's just going to play my lesson that I taught yesterday. Now, the reason why this is okay for today, this is a two-part class, you guys. So you have to understand money as a real estate agent. You have to understand money, the psychology behind money, because we're dealing with a lot of it, you guys. We're dealing with a lot of it. Some of you guys have gotten some really fat paychecks. Some of you guys are stacking up really good paychecks, right? And so the more you know about money, the more confident you'll be in your business. I think I've never met someone that says I've got too much money. I wish I had less. Okay. And so I think money gives options. Money makes things a little bit easier. But in business, if you don't know your money, especially in real estate, especially in mortgage, you're providing your clients a disservice because you're in charge of the largest financial decision of their life. And for you to not be financially literate and managing your own money good and understanding how money works. I think it's just, you're just an average real estate agent. And so what I like to do with all my real estate agents and loan officers is I try to teach them money. Guys, I learned this. I really became passionate about this about 12 years ago, and it changed the conversation that I have with clients, changes the conversation I have with realtors when I sit down and we business plan together. And so today is kind of the psychology of money, how money works, what you need to know as real estate professionals about money, how to have money conversations with your clients, how to make it all about their money, not the sell. Okay. And then the follow-up is going to be all about budgeting, knowing what's coming in every single month, knowing what's going out and what's left over, and then what you're going to do with that. That one's going to be awesome, but we can't do that without this. So I'm going to hand it back to you guys. I'm going to go put some eye drops in my eyes. I'll wait to hear from Chad and Michelle when you guys want to set up the budgeting class. That one's so awesome. It's an hour-long class. You'll leave that with your mind blown, but you'll leave with a game plan around your own money, and you'll do it every single month. And trust me, that's been the number one thing in my business and in my financial life that's moved the needle, is managing my budget every single month. So
Hey, Dan,
enjoy
one
this.
question real quick before you drop off. You're a top 1% lender in the nation, right? Where do you think you would be if you were having conversations about interest rates with people, right? If you were talking just about payment with people, right? Because the top 1%, guys, I mean, I posted this thing that was on my Instagram the other day that 74% of real estate agents sold 0 homes in 2024, right? 2% sold between 11 and I think 20. And the top 0.14% sold 45 or more, right?
Yeah.
And the difference to me, what puts you in a different category is your ability to have different conversations. And if you're going out there and having conversations about the sell of the home, like 74% of real estate agents can do that, right? 75%. And so if you wanna level up to the second level or the last level of real estate, it's the people who are having high level conversations with their clients outside of just the sell of the home and what it means for their life, what it means for their finances. Those are the people who are leveling up to the top 0.14%. So Dan, do you think you'd be in the top 1% if you lived and died by interest rate and payment like most lenders in the industry?
Well, I wouldn't be here talking to an amazing group of people and elite coaches and trainers like Michelle and Cooley. Number one, no, I'd be in a call center. I'd be making probably $100,000 a year, which is a fraction of what I make now. And I'd have no freedom. I'd have no ability to create my own practice, to serve people. And you guys, at the end of the day, we have this human element in our lives and our business. Like, we want to help people. We do. We like getting paid good, nice checks and making good money. But at the end of the day, we genuinely like to help people. When you're in a call center, you're an order taker, you're a processor. And I tell loan officers and realtors this: if you don't get good at adding value, you're nothing more than a processor. So no, Cooley, I would absolutely not be here without that.
I love that. I love that. Michelle?
Isn't it nice when the guy who's teaching you about money has that type of view behind him?
Yeah.
It works.
And I think
That's
that
an expensive home, Dan Keller. We know.
Yes.
it's and again, Dan, I think you share in the recording that I'll kick off here in a second, guys, and then we'll because we're doing a part 2, we will do it very, very soon. Dan and I will collaborate on the end to pick in the upcoming week here. So you guys will have plenty of opportunity. You're gonna want to see the part 2 to ask questions live. So just make sure you guys are taking really, really good notes. Again, everyone here will also get the recording, but take really good notes and write down those questions that you have, because you will have that opportunity to ask Dan directly and or when we do that live class. We'll make sure everyone has his contact information as well. But I think in the intro of the video, Dan, so I won't spoil it, we kind of talk about starting this journey that started 12 months ago and the people that have mentored you through this process. When we talk about financial literacy and people that are doing it at that level, right? Like who you're learning from, and then taking that, how you would live it in your life and teach it back. It's pretty powerful. So
enjoy, you guys.
All right.
Take notes.
And feel better. We'll talk soon and we'll schedule.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm going to, slight curveball this morning, guys, but everyone's in for a real treat. So let me kick this off. It should be good. I got sound share. Cooley, anything else to add before I hit this?
Yeah, real quick before we hit that, how many of you guys are familiar with the new telecoms thing that's just happened? As far as those of you guys who are using auto dialers, those of you guys who are using any type of AI to solicit your clients, those of you guys who are using voicemail drops and email campaigns and things like that. So they
The tap
just had
car.
this big, what's that?
I was just saying the tap car, if that's what.
Yeah, yeah. So they just had this big ruling saying that your clients had to opt in for you to use any of that stuff. And I don't know if any of you guys saw the update on that. Obviously, it seems like they feel like they've overstepped their bounds quite a bit, right? So they've suspended any action because it was supposed to go into effect on the 25th, I believe, or 27th. They have suspended it for a year. So just to let you guys know right now, until further notice, until about a year from now, it's just business as usual, right? But it's a huge thing that we've got to be thinking about as the year comes to an end, the adjustments that we need to make if and when they come out with some sort of ruling. So just to give you guys that update, I wanted you guys to know business as usual. Michelle.
Thank you, Cooley. I almost forgot about that. And you guys already know, we'll be working with you on those adjustments and things of that nature, which will help everybody have that advantage. But as of now, business as usual. So we're going to go ahead and kick us off, guys. I will monitor the chat. And then obviously I'll conclude with a few things and make sure for any guests on here, I can get the recording and things of that nature too. So let's go ahead and kick it off for time's sake. We're still letting people in. And if you guys could just give me some thumbs up in the chats that like you can see it and you can hear fine once we kick off right now. So I'm going to go ahead and share. And then let's make sure we are visual and audio good. Give me the thumbs up. Let me oops. I want to play my video, not edit it. Go away, whatever this is. Let's shrink. There we go.
Hey, co-founders group. My name is Dan Keller. I am really excited to talk with you guys today about something that I am, it's kind of a passion project of mine. Thank God it's been a passion project of mine for the last 20 years, and that's money. I think that it is a very under-taught topic, especially in our industries, which blows my mind. I mean, think about it this way. You guys, as real estate professionals, you're selling a house. That's someone's, that's the majority of their net worth most of the time is found in the equity of their home. If they're transitioning it into more real estate, they're rolling that, and that snowball is just going to continue to grow their net worth. A first-time home buyer, 25, clueless, their whole world ahead of them, their whole earnings potential ahead of them, and there's very little encouragement for education around financial education in the real estate space. Now, I share this with mortgage professionals all the time. Myself got into the mortgage industry about 18 years ago. I got into the mortgage industry because I couldn't get into the financial planning industry because it was right around 2008. Nobody had money. People were losing money, losing their houses. And so I ended up getting into the mortgage finance side of the world, knowing that I could always go back to being a financial planner when the market turned. Now, I never went back to financial planning because I saw an opportunity in the mortgage space to not be a financial planner, but make financial awareness a key part of what I do. So I talk about financial planning. I don't give necessarily financial investing and trading advice, but I talk about financial planning with all my clients. Saving for retirement, understanding that retirement, you're going to hear me talk about this a lot today, and I'm going to show this to you, that retirement is not an age. Retirement is a number. How many of you guys know someone that's 40 years old and has $6 million in the bank, or has a $10 million net worth in real estate, and they're bringing in money from investment properties? So that right there proves the point. Retirement is not an age. The government wants you to think that retirement's an age. They want you living off of them. They want you working and slaving until you're 65 or whatever. Retirement is a number. And if we could encourage our clients to understand that and to understand what their number is, we got the opportunity to change your life. Now, the reason why I've made money a focal point and my mortgage practice, I do it for two reasons. Every real estate agent that I talk to about why you should use me as a mortgage professional, for example, is because I care more about your money as a real estate agent than any other mortgage professional. Now, what do I mean by that? Your commissions. I care that you get paid more than anyone else, number one. I care that you get paid again because we did an amazing job, because they had amazing experience with me more than anyone. And then I actually care about what you do with your money. And so I'd love to sit down with you and talk about some of the things that I've learned over the last 20 plus years, investing money into the stock market, investing money into real estate, budgeting, some of the things that we're going to learn today, and share that with you. Now, I do have two financial planners. They're both incredible. I have a mentor that I get financial planning and money advice from who's worth over $200 million, 67 years old, and has just done an absolute amazing job with his money over the last 40 years of his life professionally. Now, if a guy like him could be worth 200 million, if a guy like me could have a substantial net worth like I do, both in real estate and the stock market, any one of you watching this can do the same. And I'm going to share that with you today. But you have to understand a couple of things before we go in and we start talking about money. Number one, you need to make every real estate transaction, every conversation you have with a client about their money. So a minute ago, I said, as a mortgage professional, when I talk to you as a real estate agent, it's all about your money. That's all I care about. Now, I'm a really good mortgage professional, and I have a really great process that is going to get us to escrow in a smooth and timely manner. I've done thousands of mortgages, so I don't make mistakes on guidelines and pre-approvals because I have a team behind me to make sure that I don't do that. Now, that's a big part of what we do for a living. That's my team does a lot of that stuff behind the scenes, processing and managing the paperwork and verification and making sure that I dot every I and cross every T, that the advice that I'm giving to your clients is great. But the conversations that I have with you, it's all about your money. I'm your mortgage broker because it's all about your money, and I care more about your money than anyone else. Now, let's flip to the borrower. The conversations that I have with the borrowers up front. It's not like a normal mortgage lender or a person at a bank or a credit union. What's your social? What's your date of birth? How much money do you make? How much money do you have for down payment? What are your goals? Okay. And by the way, you guys, get really good at asking better questions. Questions that are not, I don't like yes and no answers. Okay. So I like questions where it's, the answer is a sentence. The answer is information that I can use to better serve them. So when I talk to my clients about their mortgage, tell me why you want to buy a home. You know, I ask this to all my clients. Tell me why you want to buy a home. Why are we having this conversation today? They can't say yes or no to that, can they? So what the client ends up saying is they give you all these different reasons. I've heard 100 different things. What I want to get them to say, what I want to get to come out of their mouth is something financially. Tired of paying rent, tired of making my landlord rich, want to create my own wealth. My friends just bought a house and it went up 100 grand. So I need to get them to recognize that it is a financial decision. It's more than my interest rate. It's more than the fees. It's more than a mortgage. It's more than just debt. I need them to want and see that a mortgage is more about, it's more than just a mortgage. It's more about their money, okay? So the initial conversations before I even get into pre-approval is around that. Hey, tell me about how you budget. So do you have money budgeted for a down payment? And if so, tell me how that looks. Is that, $50,000? Is it $5,000? Is it $50,000? Is it $100,000 or more? So they can tell me about how they've budgeted or how they're not budgeting, right? When it comes to your current rent, it looks like you're currently renting. Yeah. What are you paying right now a month in rent, and are you comfortable paying that? Okay. And then I tie that into their monthly payment, and then I ask them about their timeline for buying a home. So I'm making the initial conversation more about a financial decision. The timeline, I tie it into how quickly are you ready to start making your money work? How soon can you get into this market and start reaping the benefits of 8.6 appreciation that we saw last year in King County? So conversations like this are pre-wiring them for why they're buying a home, for the information that I'm going to send them. Now, I'll send them an initial pre-approval email, and in that email is a mortgage options report that kind of gives them, based off of our conversation, not their pre-approval, some options. It gives them our rates, our fees, the total monthly payment, the total down payment. So they're super dialed in. I believe in transparency, so I give that to them up front. And then right below that is a 5-year net worth analysis. And this is what's key. And I draw arrows and I point a bunch of attention to that, hey, by purchasing an $800,000 home with 5% down, look what your $40,000 down payment does. It turns into almost a $285,000 increase in your total net worth over 5 years. Where else can you do that? The stock market doesn't do that. Crypto may do that, but it's not predictable. This is real estate. It's predictable. I use 7% appreciation. It's what we've seen over the last 47 years in King County. So we talk about that. They still haven't even gone through the pre-approval process yet. And I'm setting the bar for, and in our conversations, this is more than a mortgage. This is all about your money, making sure you know how to use it, making sure that we're customizing the mortgage to your best needs so that you can reap the benefits of just what I put in this report over the next 5, 10, 15 years, okay? So we're setting the stage for that. So number one, we as real estate agents, we as mortgage lenders need to make it more, it's not about the transaction, it's not about the listing, it's not about the sell, it's about their money. So whether or not you're a listing agent and you're selling their home, whether or not you're working with a buyer and you're buyer's agent and you're helping them buy a home, it needs to be about their financial goals. Cooley does a great job. Cooley always talks about this in the Breakfast Club. So it looks like to me this makes financial sense. So let me run some numbers for you. We'll sit down, and if this makes financial sense to you, then we'll go ahead and we'll get your house listed by next Tuesday. Right? So the word financial sense, get used to saying that. It has to be about their money. So number one, we need to make it all about their money. Number two, you have to understand money. So the third thing in working with real estate agents is I care about your commissions. I care about getting you paid again, but I care about you really understanding the money, because if I get you paid again and again and again, and you're spending more than you're earning, I'm going to put up a quote here. You have to see this. It's one of my favorite money quotes, you guys, of all times. And it's so stinking true. It's so true. So this quote, I learned, it changed my perspective, you guys, on money. And I shared it with my wife and I shared it with my kids. Okay. I'll just go ahead and share this whole entire presentation with you because I'm going to jump into it here anyways. So, this is a modern money class, which, guys, by the way, I teach this every single month for clients, for real estate agents. So you're more than welcome. I'll make sure that Cooley and Michelle send you guys out a link. I'm going to come back to this slide, but right here, boom, the psychology of money. Spending more than you make is simply losing in advance. Let that sink in. Winning the money game is 100% up to you. Spending more than you make is simply losing in advance. And so when I talk about money, I always use this example. The 18-year-old millionaire, you guys, the 18-year-old millionaire. Think of it this way. You're already a multi-millionaire. You just don't realize it yet. So we got to get this through our head. And if we start talking with our clients about this, first-time homebuyers about this, we change the game. Median income in Washington State last year, right around $80,000 a year. You'll work from 20 to 65. Okay, that's 45 years, making about 80 grand a year. That means that you will earn over $3.5 million in your lifetime, making the median income in Washington State. You got to hear me when I say this. You have to hear me when I say this. You, real estate professional, you're already a multimillionaire. You don't even know it. Home buyers. I teach this in my first-time homebuyer class. I look at every single one of them that want to buy a home. They want to own multiple homes like me. They want to have money in the stock market because we talk about the stock market like me. And I'm going to say, listen, what you guys don't realize, and I didn't realize this until I had a mentor tell me this, and I wish I would have learned this early on. Every single one of you sitting here today, you're already a multimillionaire. You don't even know it. Now, how big that becomes is how big you want to dream, how big you want to think, how much action you want to take, how much discipline you want to have. So where I did a little bit different, I got it through my head that I'm gifted, I'm special, I can do amazing things. Right around 26 years of age, I just didn't know how to do it. I had no money. So I started earning money and I started putting it away, bought my first condo. Then I started putting money into a 401k. Didn't know what I was doing. I just was told to do it. Next thing you know, 5, 10 years goes by. Both of them have snowballed. I've then bought a couple of other homes. I've invested a few more dollars. 2016 comes along and I sit down with a financial planner. We build out a financial plan. He goes, Dan, I need $10,000 a month from you. Can I count on you for that? And I'm like, I'm always up for a challenge, right? I'm like, $10,000 a month. And he goes, let me show you. If you give me $10,000 a month, that'll do for you 5 years. And he showed me that. And I was like, cool. Well, guys, you know how my brain is wired. I'm in the mortgage industry, just like you in real estate. I don't have a ceiling. I can earn as much as I want. So I took those numbers and I was like, well, 10 grand. What if I gave him 20 grand? So for 6 years in a row, I gave him $20,000 a month. Life changed. Completely changed. Now, what I didn't think about was, what if I outperform the market? What if I outperform and my money outperforms legacy ROIs? So the generic return on investment over the last 40 years that we were going conservative estimates. Well, what happened through those times was COVID. We're going to talk about this in a minute, where the markets behaved differently, where we saw massive spikes in home appreciation and massive returns in the stock market. Okay, so that money didn't grow, it grew out of control. So can this happen to you? Absolutely. Do you try to time the market? No, I had no idea. What I had was a plan, and I was a little bit competitive. I had a plan that I was going to contribute X number of dollars a month and get that working in the market. Now, I personally got to a particular time in my life, right around 45 years of age, where I said, I don't want to deal with rentals anymore. I'm making really good money as a branch manager and as a mortgage professional. I flip 2 homes a year. I take the profit from those flips and I put it in the stock market. So I got rid of all my rentals. So right now I have 1 rental. I have 1 second home that basically is rented. And then I have an owner occupied home. And then I have a beach home, a little beach home for fun. And I do make a little bit of money off that. So 4 homes, four pieces of real estate. That's it. The rest of my money, all my money is in the stock market. Okay. Now, I love the stock market because the returns are there. I love the stock market because I'm able to control. I get to invest in the best companies in the world, companies that are going places. Okay. And I love, this is not financial advice. So I'm going to send this disclaimer out right now. This is what I do. And I'm not telling you to do this, but I believe in the S&P 500 index. The S&P 500 index, you can Google it, has had great returns over the last 15, 20 years, and it'll continue to because it's the best businesses in America. The S&P 500 index is what financial planners try to match or beat. Okay. And so what I've done is I've invested in companies that are part of the S&P 500 index, and they've had great returns. They're going to continue to have great returns. So I made a decision that I'm going to put all my money in the stock market instead of rentals, because I don't want to chase down a $250 profit on a rent check where I could be making $250,000 a year, $450,000, $500,000 a year in returns in the stock market. Makes sense? When I started getting my hands wrapped around that, I was like, holy crud, I understand appreciation with real estate. I understand that, but I'm chasing down a renter for a rent check where I'm making $250 a month profit. Whereas if I could have that money working in the stock market, I'm making more than $250 a month profit, way more. Okay. So I made a personal decision to get out of the rental business at 45 and flip 2 homes a year and take all of those proceeds and put them into the stock market. And then I continue to give my financial planner money every single month. Now, how much money do I give my financial planner every single month? I pay him first and I live on the rest. So I'm pretty consistent on what I'm earning every single month. I know that because I fill out a budget. We're not going to talk about that today. I'm going to do a follow-up class to this on your personal family budget. It's a form that I fill out every single month with my wife. I've done this since 2015. It's changed my life. It'll change yours. But when we do this and we're able to teach our clients this, things start to change. Okay, so let's go back to this slide, you guys. I got about 6 or 7, I don't know, let's say 8 or 10. I don't want to lie to you. I have a few slides that I want to share with you guys today. But understanding money for real estate agents, you got to understand this. Number one, you have to make and fulfill small promises to yourself. When my financial planner told me, Dan, can I count on you for 10 grand a month to invest? I said, yes. But then I was super competitive. I said, I'm going to at least give you 10. Sometimes it could be 15. Sometimes it's 20. Sometimes it's more than that. Obviously, when I flip a home, it's way more than that. Okay. Number two, you got to practice daily gratitude. I'm grateful for the ability to earn money. I'm grateful for the stock market. You guys working and investing is challenging, especially in real estate. It's hard to stay up all the time. We're going to have ups and downs, but one of the ways to stay up, or one of the ways I stay up, is I count my blessings daily. Okay. Now I'm a man of faith. Jesus has done, my relationship with the Lord has done more things than anything or anyone in my life. And so I practice this. I try to pray in the morning before I get on social media for 5 people. Okay. So that's one of the ways that I practice gratitude, is by praying for others that they be blessed. Okay. But however you do it, practice daily gratitude. It's hard to be in a bad mood and be grateful at the same time. Number 3, associations. You are what you listen to. You are who you hang out with. So if you want to have a better marriage, hang out with people that have great marriages. If you want to be a great parent, hang out with people that are great parents. Okay. If you want to be rich, hang out with wealthy people. Now, connected to a lot of people that I played college baseball with and semi-pro baseball with now on social media. The cool thing is now, as 45, 50 years old, and being connected to those people, there's no surprise, and I've heard them say this, no surprise that you're successful, Dan, because you know what? When we were all out partying and getting hammered and doing silly things and making bad decisions, you were at home and you're in the weight room that next morning working on yourself. Absolutely. I was hanging out with the athletes. Now, who on Saturday mornings in college are in the weight room at 7 or 8 a.m.? Champions are. I can tell you that, right? And so you are who you hang out with. You are what you listen to. You are who you hang out with. So if you want to be fit, hang out with fit people, because fit people make fit decisions. Financially free and wealthy people, the conversations are different. The conversations aren't about others. The conversations are about what they're doing next. Conversations about these new dadu laws and how we can take these new zoning laws and make a ridiculous amount of money by flipping dadus and buying real estate and building a dadu. Okay. So these 3 things are huge, because you have to build, I believe that personal finance, a big part of growing your net worth is growing your self-worth first. Okay. Because here's the thing. I know a lot of rich people. I know a lot of poor people, or people that don't have a ton of money. And I can tell you, if you gave a poor person $1 million that has good character, they're going to be great and they're going to do great things with that money. You give someone with poor character millions of dollars and they're going to do poor things with it. So as you continue to grow your worth, as you continue to teach people how to build their net worth, do it with a high self-worth and high character. I mentioned this earlier, real estate and mortgage is up and down. It's an up and down industry. So adversity is necessary. You're not always going to win when it comes to money. You're not always going to get a great ROI. You're not always going to win every listing appointment. The fact that you're in that living room with that homeowner is incredible. Okay. That pressure that you're feeling is a privilege. Okay. Now, anything worth having takes hard work. Becoming wealthy in the stock market, becoming wealthy in real estate takes hard work understanding money, number 1, takes hard work earning money, number 2, and it takes hard work buying and investing, okay? It's not easy. If it was easy, there'd be a bunch of billionaires in America, a lot more than there are right now. Number 2, overcoming adversity always leads to opportunity in my life. Every tough phone call I've ever had to have leads to an opportunity, okay? Anything hard has always, in my business and in my life, has always led to an opportunity. Okay, number 3, choose your heart. Now, we've all heard this quote. Okay, you can choose your heart. You can choose for the grind and what you do every single day to be difficult, or you can fast forward 15 years and the situation that you're in, whether it be your health or your finances, because you haven't made it difficult today, it's going to be ugly then. Okay, so choose your heart. It's going to be hard today, it's going to be hard tomorrow, but pick which day you want it to be hard. And number 4, I've taught my kids this: blame no one. There's freedom when you take responsibility for everything in your life. There's freedom when you can't blame someone. So we blame no one. And I love this quote. My kids know it. I wish it was on the wall everywhere I went in my house. My wife wouldn't let me. Don't be upset with the results you didn't get by the work you didn't do. You want to sell more homes, you got to put in the work. Okay. You want to be more wealthier, you got to put in the work and you got to invest. Okay. Now, the psychology of money. I just gave you this quote: spending more than you make is simply losing in advance. It's the truth, you guys. So being good with money isn't about knowledge. Trust me, there's a lot of smart people that are crappy with their money. I do a lot of loans for physicians. Most of the physicians that I do mortgages for don't have great credit scores and they know nothing about money, but they can save a life. They can literally cut me wide open and fix me, right? Okay, so being good with money isn't always about knowledge. Being good with money isn't about knowledge, IQ, or being good with math. It's about behaviors and values. So people have different behaviors due to their past and their current environment. So the way that I used to look at money was because of the way that my mom and my dad looked at money when I was little. They didn't have a lot of money necessarily. They saved everything. They pinched every penny. They didn't invest, right? Okay. So I took those behaviors and was scared of money. Okay. And so you need to understand, especially in relationships, there's spenders and savers, there's nerds and free spirits, and then there's that safety versus status psychology. Okay. Which one of those are you? And understand that that can be changed. Now, when you understand how money works, a lot of that stuff changes, but you may have to see a therapist to unwire or unlearn some bad behaviors that you're pre-wired with. Now, I love this. And when I figured this out about 2013, 2014, my life changed. Money speaks one language. If you save me today, I'll save you tomorrow. Goes back to pick your hard, choose your hard, choose your hard. If you save me today, I will save you tomorrow. Now, I'll add something to this. If you invest me today, I will save you tomorrow. Okay. So that's such a huge quote. Now let's take a look at this. Okay. So again, remember, I'm here to teach you about money today. We're going to learn about budgeting next time. And I'm going to give you a taste of this so that you can hopefully you can take some of these tidbits and hand these off to clients as you're talking in the moment and you're walking them through the sales process. Here's the difference of saving for an extra 5 years. This is how money works. So let's say someone started at the age of 20 versus the age of 25. And at 20, they invested $2,000. At 25, they invested the same $2,000. Okay, the monthly investment was $250 each month. Okay, the rate of return was 8%. That 5 extra years, look at the difference, is almost $500,000. So time favors money. Go back to this quote. If you save me and invest me today, I'll save you tomorrow. Okay, it's never too late. But money favors time. Let's talk about how money works now. Okay, the US dollar inflation and the rich. Now there's a myth, and this is what you hear poor people say all the time. The rich are getting richer. The rich get richer, especially in America, right? The truth is the financially literate get richer. There is no reason why I'm getting wealthier. I'm getting wealthier because I'm financially literate. I'm working on 3 Dadu projects right now. That is going to add substantially to my net worth. Okay. I'm going to accomplish that because I'm financially literate. I went and learned about the Dadu laws, the zoning laws in Snohomish County, and I went out and I went and did it and I took action. Okay. Okay. Let's play a game. I want y'all to think about this one. Would you rather that I give you $250,000 cash today, right now, or give you a penny that doubles every day for the next 30 days? Okay, you can have what that penny doubles at in the next 30 days, or I'll give you $250 cash right now. What would you rather have? Okay. When I do this at high schools and colleges, they're like, I'll take the $250. I would have taken the $250 as well, because at day 24, no change. But from day 25 to day 30, you have $5.3 million. That penny turned into $5.3 million after 30 days. instead of that 250K. See this? That penny doubling, that penny doubling, that penny doubling, that penny doubling, that penny doubling. Right here at about day 24, it doubles, and then it doubles. And then now we're talking big doubles. So that 1 penny after 30 days is 5.3 million versus just 250K cash. Okay, so understanding how money works, understanding how real estate works too when it comes to appreciation, or the ROI, is huge. Now, that penny, the US dollar, it's backed and controlled by the Federal Reserve. It's impacted, its value is impacted by economic factors like inflation. So for example, we've seen massive inflation over the last 3 or 4 years. That's eaten away at what our dollar is worth. So a dollar from 2020 is worth $1.34 today, because our dollar today buys 12.3% less than it did in 2020 due to inflation. Okay, the USA Today in August of 2022 said 25% of Americans are delaying retirement due to inflation, and that's only gotten worse over the last 2 years. I loved this tweet. It's a parody, but I love it. It's about COVID. They printed $8 trillion, gave you $1,400, and sent the rest to their friends and left you with inflation. It's the truth. Good old government. It's the truth. But that's inflation for you. The definition of inflation is a general progressive increase in prices of goods and services in an economy. When the price level rises, each unit of currency buys fewer goods and services. Consequently, inflation corresponds to a reduction in the purchasing power of money. We have seen that with eggs, milk, sugar, services, electricians, plumbers, right? Inflation reflects the broad rise in prices or the fall in the value of money. It generally results from too much demand, chasing too few goods, or limited services, leading to price increases. We saw that. We've witnessed that. We've lived this. Now, the ideal inflation rate, I think you're going to see Trump really trying to get to this. The ideal inflation rate is 2%. Current, we're about 4 to 8%. Okay, it depends on which report. Okay, when you understand that the flow of money and inflation is simply a cycle in America, you'll gain control of your money. It's a cycle and the government controls it. Watch over the next couple of years, the Fed rate come down, mortgage rates come down. It'll be artificial. The government will do this. Now that in particularly may cause inflation to rise again, but the government can control all of this. They do by making the Fed rate higher. They lower inflation by making the Fed rate higher. They increase inflation by lowering the Fed rate, okay? Now, how do we beat inflation, you guys? My net worth has grown substantially over the last 3 years. So when people weren't buying real estate in 2023 and 2024, I bought more real estate, okay? When people were not necessarily investing in the stock market after COVID because they were worried that it was going to crash, I was investing. Look what stocks have done and bonds have done. This hard red line is real estate. Look at this line, stocks. Look at the US dollar, tanks. So as the US dollar erodes, how to beat inflation? Invest in real estate, invest in the stock market, okay? Inflation cycles, you got to understand inflation cycles. We saw them in the 70s, we saw them in the 80s, okay? Now, what happens after inflation? So here's a chart. Every time you see inflation going up, so this is inflation, and then it comes down, these red lines are recessions, okay? These red lines are recessions. This line right here is 30-year fixed rate mortgages, but this is when we saw inflation go way up and it caused a recession. Every single time we hit a recession, look what 30-year fixed rates did. Dropped, 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 and dropped, okay? So inflations lead to recessions. Recessions cause mortgage rates to drop. It's because the government controls all that. Now, we have 3 currencies, okay? We have 3 currencies. Number 1 is your time. Number 2 is your money and what you do with it. Number 3 is your knowledge. Now, this is really cool. You can control all of these. You have a say in what you do with your time. You have a say in how much money you make and what you do with it. And you have a say in what you learn. So I want to encourage you to take those 3 things, own all 3 of those. But let's talk about some traits of the wealthy people. And I'm going to close here in a minute with knowledge. Number 1, 90% of millionaires in America got rich by investing in real estate. 94% of wealthy people own stocks. 85% of rich people read self-improvement books. Okay, that's knowledge. And the wealthiest 5% save 37% or more of their money each year. Now, when we get into budgeting, you guys, when we get into budgeting next week, okay, or whenever I get a chance to come back to you, and we're going to wrap up here in a minute. When we get into budgeting, a part of every single month when you write down all of your expenses, and then over in column 5, you write down your income and you compare the two. The middle column is savings. What did you save? Let's go back to this. Remember, I want to see you save at least 20% of your income every single month. That's what's left over after your living expenses and your debt, okay? After you earn, look at this. The wealthiest people in America save 37%. So I will give you an example. Last month on my personal budget, guys, I saved 87% of my income last month. 87% was saved. Very little debt, high income. 87% of that income went into the stock market. Okay. When you track your expenses, when you're aware of your expenses and you're cautious of those, and you're focused on being a high income earner, paying down that debt, you have more left over every single month. And when you invest that, you become wealthy, and you become wealthy rather quickly. So let's wrap this, you guys. This is one of my favorite parts of the presentation, is understanding these statistics about wealthy people. This should be encouragement that you can do this. You control these, your time, your money, your knowledge. Look at that, money, time, knowledge. Now, favorite podcasts, I like Ed Milet, I like Andy Frisella's, I like Ben Newman's, I love Jocko, Mel Robbins, and Lewis House. These are some great podcasts around what to do with your time, what to do with your money. There's other ones. Now, books on money, books on mindset. I love The 4 Agreements. I love 10X by Grant Cardone. I love Max Out Your Life by Ed Milet. I love The Power of One. I love 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I love Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I love Atomic Habits. Okay, these are just good books on more so on mindset, you guys. More so on what to do with your mind. Nowadays with podcasts, you can find some really great podcasts on money. So I hope this was helpful, you guys. If you have any questions on this, I want you to reach out to me. I would love to sit down and sit down with you and talk about your money and help get you introduced to a financial planner if necessary. Now, one of the things about being a great real estate agent, the best real estate agents and the best mortgage lenders I know, they're connected to financial planners, to CPAs, to estate attorneys, to business owners, okay? We need to be having higher level conversations. So I want to encourage you to go meet with CPAs, meet with financial planners, talk with them about money, talk with them about conversations that they think that we should be having with our sellers and with our buyers. Network with me, and let's have better conversations around money. I want to help you learn about money. I want to help you make more money. I want to help you not just make more money, get paid, but through a great experience. Get this, 5-star reviews, doing annual real estate and mortgage reviews with your clients, help you get you more referrals and get you paid again, all right? But stay tuned. The next class is going to be on budgeting. It's going to be a really simple one. You're going to have some paperwork that you'll have in front of you, but I hope this helped. Hey, make every conversation you have with your clients about their money. Watch your career as a real estate professional go through the roof. All right, Chad, Michelle, thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor. I always love chatting with you guys, and I look forward to the next opportunity to talk with you guys, the co-founders group.
All right, let me pause all that here. I shrink this down. How was that, you guys?
That was phenomenal.
That was
So-
great.
It was awesome.
terrific.
So good. I hope you guys all saw the value in that. And so just if you guys didn't catch that, I know we had a whole bunch of people kind of pop in late as well. If you guys aren't, and this is foundational financial literacy. If you guys aren't catching that, like this is his 101 class, which is where it starts for most. For some of you on here, this might have been beginner for you. I think for the bigger majority, everyone needs this 101. Would you guys agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Where it starts is
Definitely.
Guys,
class.
it affects so many aspects of your business that you might not be thinking about. You know, I was kind of having a conversation with Nick Tarani behind the scenes, and I was talking about like how financial literacy can help you solve problems that are like the bane of your existence now. Like when you're talking about how to get price reductions, right? Why people are thinking the things that they're thinking, why they're demanding 750 for their home, right? How you can actually, instead of listing that house at 750, list it at its actual price 700, but also make things make sense for your clients financially, right? Like this is the mover of all things. That's why when we do say on the Breakfast Club, hey, if I could show you a way to make all of this make sense for you financially so that you could do X, Y, and Z, that makes sense, right? And then what we need to be doing is having higher level conversations in the living room, because it's the difference between, you know, people actually following your lead or you just sitting there trying to figure out why your buyers like making the decisions that they're making, right? It's because you don't know where they're at financially, you don't understand how they're thinking, and you're unable to provide them a financial pathway forward or make sense of their situation for them, right? We're good at what we do, guys, because we're leaders and we solve problems, right? But honestly speaking, guys, and I know that Dan Keller's a high-level person, but if you had to go on a listing appointment and have a financial conversation with a Dan Keller, like, how would you feel, right? Would you go, oh shit, I'm kind of out of my league here, right? These are the conversations that we need to be having with people, guys. And it starts with our basic understanding of how things work, if that makes sense. So if you want to make your life easier, you got to do the hard things and the tedious things. And getting smart financially is really tedious. It's something that I'm still learning, Michelle's still learning, and you can tell Dan's still learning all the time. You know what I mean? How much time is in your calendar, or how much time do you spend researching these things so that you can leverage them as tools in your existence, if that makes sense? And so higher level conversations create more value, and you can actually lead your clients, whether they're buying or selling, right? I'm not ready to do anything right now. Well, what are your goals financially here? Let's take a look at X, Y, and Z and see if it makes sense for you to purchase now or later on down the road, right? According to the numbers, you would be in a better place financially, and you would be up $200,000 now by taking a $50,000 price reduction right now, right? How great would it be if you could go out there and leverage these tools? The last time Dan Keller was on, he provided us with some tools that we can actually provide to our buyers and to our sellers. And the question is that something that you've used, or is that something that you have put zero research in, even though it will help you help clients make better financial decisions, right? Which could include price reductions, buying now while interest rates are a little bit higher, right? We've got to learn to not just be real estate agents and talk about the sell of somebody's home, because realistically, we could train a monkey or AI to have that conversation, right? What we get paid a lot of money, right, to make ourselves more valuable than just let me sell your home, right? It's what's your current situation, okay? And how can I make all of this make sense so that you trust me and I can give you direction, right? What's the funny thing about being a leader, guys? Funny thing happens.
People follow.
People follow you, right? So if you want to be a more respected real estate agent, okay, have higher value. Michelle?
I've dropped, for you guys that don't know Dan or are wondering how do I get in contact with him, I dropped his Instagram. You can contact him directly through there. And what I was going to add is he runs a class for our clients, you guys, for the consumer, right? So when you're able to have these better conversations, ask better questions, higher level conversations with our clients, it's how do we help them not just complete a transaction, right? It's how do we help them actually understand money, build wealth for them, increase their net worth. These are things that you can plug. This is a resource that, in addition to all that, you can plug them into. So you guys have the link is there, so you guys can reach out to Dan directly, anyone looking for that. And within the next couple of weeks, you guys will see us announce it. We will have the part 2, which is going to be super, super valuable as well for everyone on here. Co-founders, you guys know where the recording will go. So you guys will all have that. So you'll have that whole presentation in the slides. If there's any guests on here that need the recording, just please make sure you reach out to me directly, so I can get that over to you. Anything else from you guys? And you might have questions down, but we'll run those with Dan live in a couple of weeks. But
Can you
hopefully
put
for better
Dan's link?
results, guys.
Sorry, can you put Dan's link for his course in the
Yes.
chat, please?
Yes, and all of this, just to let you know, this meeting included will be available in our learning hub at cofoundersgroup.com. So log on to that if you want to rewatch this. Again, we're going to invite him back where he's actually going to be live. Unfortunately, due to the circumstances, it kind of is what it is. But guys, we're all leveling up in 2025. I told you guys before that we're storming the beach at Normandy this year, and we're leaving no man behind if we have to drag you over this up the sand to get to the top, right? But it requires you to kick those feet, if that makes sense. Now, we've got, like I said on the Breakfast Club this morning, guys, we've got agents who were in a really bad spot last year make a decision that this year they were going to be elite, right? And a lot of those people, month one down, are already in that position where they're the 0.14%, okay? So we've got the Breakfast Club, obviously, tomorrow morning at 7:30, and that has been all hype. And then we've moved our builders call to Monday, which all of you guys this year, right? If we talk about the returns of the investment that you get in real estate versus the returns that you get for hanging your license here, guys, you are derelict of duty if you're not taking advantage of that Monday builders call where we literally do that for you, right? And so if we're out there buying real estate for you every single week and getting you positive cash flow every single week, you got to show up for that, guys, because it's financially irresponsible if you don't. So I'm excited. I know that all of you guys are too. Next masterclass is next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Mark it in your calendars if you're a guest. If you're a co-founder, you already know. But how many of you guys are ready after today to fuck shit up? Yes, F word. Unmute your microphones and let me know.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All day. Let's fucking go.
I love it, guys.
Oh.
Let's go. Have a great week.
Bye, guys.
take care.